the 2026 Black History Special, sharing stories of the past and recognizing achievements in the present. Now, honoring Black history here on WBOY, here's Jalyn Lamp.
Hello, and welcome into this year's 12 News Black History Special here on WBOY. Come along as we highlight stories of Black history both here in North Central West Virginia and across the country. We'll start with a man who came to the Mountain State to play college football, but who ultimately made this area his home, exemplifying leadership both on and off the field. Here's Terrell Thompson with the story of West Virginia University great Garrett Ford.
Garrett Ford Sr.'s life and legacy resemble what it's like to be a true Mountaineer. Ford dedicated 4+ decades of involvement with West Virginia athletics on and off the gridiron.
We are really concerned with the freshmen that they get off on the right foot. And from day one when they come in, I explain to them that you're here to get an education. And what I do is I check their schedules, I arrange study halls, tutors, freshman orientation, and I do a lot of personal counseling with the athletes.
Ford started his career as a Mountaineer playing on the West Virginia football team from 1965 to 1967 and was among the first handful of black players in program history. During his 3-year stint, he became the first player in WVU history to rush for 1,000 yards in a single season and 2,000 yards for a career as a Mountaineer. He finished his career rushing for 2,167 yards and totaled 20 touchdowns, while 16 of those were rushing. After a short stint in the NFL with the Denver Broncos, he realized that his purpose on Mountaineer Field was bigger than the stat sheet, and that's when he began coaching and mentoring many student athletes. In 1970, he became WVU's first African-American assistant football coach, working under Bobby Bowden. The Ford legacy and name will always be remembered in WVU football history through 3 generations, as his son Garrett Ford Jr. played running back for the Mountaineers from 1989 to 1992, and his grandson Bryce Ford Wheaton was also a standout wideout for the Mountaineers from 2018 to 2022. Reporting for 12 Sports in Morgantown, I'm Terrell Thompson.
Thanks to the efforts of an Ohio historian, the story of an escaped slave from Clarksburg in the 1850s is coming to light. Jefferson Pan tells us about William Jackson, including his escape and his role in changing history.
In Clarksburg in 1856, a slave named Charles escaped bondage from James Jackson, a young attorney and relative of Stonewall Jackson. Charles took the name William and fled north. In his pursuit of a better life and freedom, William would also play a part in helping to change the nation's view on slavery. More than 150 years later, Bill Kerrigan, professor emeritus at Muskingum University, has tracked William's story from archival Ohio and abolitionist newspapers. Kerrigan said William would find his way to Barnesville in eastern Ohio, a town founded by Quakers that had a relatively anti-slavery stance. William was able to work with the Briggs family, who had a daughter named Phoebe.
Phoebe Briggs was 21. William Jackson was about 26 at this time. And they developed a secret romance that no one knew about. And everything seemed to be going great for William until Phoebe became pregnant.
William, Phoebe, and their newborn baby had to leave Barnesville. They fled west to Zanesville, Ohio. William and his family were hidden with the help of Zanesville's sizable free black population. Since William's escape, James Jackson had been putting out bounty posters in the region's newspapers. An Ohio bounty hunter named Mordecai Honeycutt learned about the reward for William and caught wind that he was in Zanesville. Honeycutt devised a plan to draw William out. He would approach Zanesville abolitionist leader Joshua McCarter Simpson and pretend to be employed by the Briggs family. Honeycutt said the Briggs family wanted their daughter and William to get officially married and move to Canada in order to remove shame from their family, and that they would give William and Phoebe money to do so.
All you have to do is tell William and Phoebe to come to the courthouse, meet me. I've already got the paperwork done. They can get married. I can give them the cash and they can get themselves resettled in Canada. And unfortunately, Simpson falls for it.
Honeycutt was able to capture William at the courthouse with the help of locals. Meanwhile, Zanesville's free black population heard of William's capture, surrounded the courthouse, and tried to free William. Ultimately, though, the judge ruled against William, and William was sent back to Clarksburg under the Fugitive Slave Act. Still, though, Kerrigan says William and other escaped slaves made their impact on towns like Zanesville.
It kind of forced every white person in Zanesville to say, which side are you on? And it probably did more than anything else to sort of awaken anti-slavery feeling in towns like Zanesville and towns all across the Midwest and the North. William was doing what every person wants. He was pursuing freedom. He was pursuing happiness, right? When he struck out and left slavery, he was hoping to make a better life for himself, to command his own labor, and to perhaps, marry and have a family and do the kinds of things that any 19th century person aspired to.
Reporting for 12 News, I'm Jefferson Pan.
It was a devastating summer for some folks in Marion County following major flooding in June. We'll hear the story of a local church that had to pick up the pieces next on our 12 News Black History Special. In June of 2025, the Father's Day flood in Fairmont devastated many businesses and homes in the area. Now, about 7 months later, one church is sharing how community and faith helped its members rebuild for themselves and those around them.
Agape Life Ministries, a predominantly Black church out of Fairmont, is reflecting on a transformative 2025. After flooding on Father's Day caused its former location to be unusable, the church spent almost 6 months bouncing between different locations to hold services.
We went to East Fairmont High School, so that was a blessing because they allowed us to come in and do services there for a while. Then another church, we went into Baptist Temple. We went in there for a while. Of course, we were at the Heritage Festival. We were at the park, so we were like going from place to place holding services.
Sometimes it makes me just want to cry to think about how many people, businesses in Fairmont opened up their doors and just asked, what do we need?
For the Rileys, it was the support of the community who rallied around them that helped them recover and rebuild.
We're so grateful to everyone that supported us through this time of difficult times, how they came out and supported. And those that didn't have finances gave of their time. Those that didn't have time gave of their finances. It was just a community, actually bigger than the community.
Yeah, we couldn't have done it by ourselves. And so that's what the kingdom of God is about. Yeah. It's about us helping one another, our brothers and sisters. When one of us hurt, we all hurt.
Agape Life Ministries opened the doors on a new location back in November, featuring spaces for youth of all ages, a brand new kitchen, and a space that can hold upwards of 200 people. The church is ready to continue worshiping and creating a space for a diverse congregation.
The doors are open to everyone, and we love the diversity actually that shows up here. That's one thing we're very grateful for, the diversity.
Proving that community can truly act as the strongest foundation for spreading faith. In Fairmont for 12 News, I'm Dakota Swiger.
To celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., children at Mount Zion Baptist Church in Fairmont practiced their lines and tested their acting skills. The mini production is titled Dare to Dream and teaches the children about the life of Dr. King and his dream for the future. The production includes a custom set, costumes, as well as musical performances. We spoke with Dr. Mark Staples, senior pastor at Mount Zion, who shared what he hopes the kids will take away from the experience.
I explained to them that at that time period, Black and white kids could not play together. They could not go to school together. And though many think that, are we past that? Yes, but now we deal with different ills. What we hope is that each child will believe that there's nothing they cannot do.
Staples also added that he hopes the play could serve as a gateway for people to come together and embrace hope for the future. You might remember your school days and getting lessons in music and singing. We'll meet a music teacher who is adding Black history to the curriculum next on our 12 News Black History Special. Music plays a big part in the lives of most people. And for one teacher who has devoted his life to music, part of that devotion involves teaching his students the important role Black history plays in the world of music. Here's Katie Collette from our sister station, WAVY.
Let's do a canon. Who wants to go first?
For 32 years, Sammy Logan has been the heart and soul of song at Cape Henry Collegiate. Mr. Logan is the director of choral activities at the private school in Virginia Beach. However, his own education started in the public school system not far away in Portsmouth and then Norfolk.
Elementary school was Laura E. Titus Elementary School, no longer there. Ruffner Middle School, and I was headed to Booker T. Washington High, but then there was busing, and I was moved over to Morey High School, so I graduated from Morey.
He got his degree at Old Dominion University and then answered an ad for a music teacher at Cape Henry.
The head of school at that time was someone who was really very interested in the diversity of the campus.
Mr. Logan said Cape was different than anything he'd experienced.
I had not been in a private school setting. All of my education was public and it was urban.
But as is often the case, different was good. This son of a pastor began incorporating Black history, including gospel music, into his lessons.
Richard Smallwood is a name that's revered in gospel music. His recent passing is something that I've spoken to the kids about because we've done some of his music. So his Total Praise selection has made its way into our repertoire, and our students enjoy that piece.
Mr. Logan has fine-tuned Cape Henry's chorus program using his passion for music and love of his students, taking them to perform in some amazing places. Sammy Logan creating his own history at Cape as he wrote the school's alma mater. As for his students embracing Black history and music,
they're all in, so I think we are pretty close musically to having the type of diversity of sound that the country needs and appreciates.
An idea to showcase a Black-owned business is one we had to take the razor to, as the proprietor was having none of it. We'll explain why next on our 12 News Black History Special. When we gathered story ideas to put this Black History Special together, Sean Loudermilk and I came up with the idea to highlight Black-owned businesses and visited Classic Cuts in Morgantown to hear its story. But shortly after sharing our idea with the shop's owner, Bilal Adams, he'd announced the idea of the barbershop being Black-owned, because it's something much more than that. Here's the story behind Classic Cuts.
This was the footprint that I wanted to leave, a place where everybody could go to, not say the white shop or the black shop, but just a barbershop, you know what I mean, where everybody is welcome. So we have a very diverse staff and everything. So it's like, now looking at it, this was my dream. And so 15 years later, to be able to see that dream where it brings everybody together.
To Bilal, a barbershop is more than a place to get your hair cut. It's a place to connect with all walks of life. So the idea of labeling Classic Cuts as a Black-owned business was of no interest, as Bilal saw it more as a limitation. With his diverse staff and clientele, Bilal wanted to create a safe haven for everybody.
Being a barber, we really are like therapists. Only thing the difference is therapists you might sit on the couch and tell the barber we're hands-on. So you deal with people that come in, say maybe someone lost their job, someone got a divorce, someone got married, and you become part of that, you know, or you bring your son in for his first haircut. So, and you watch that child grow up and you play a part of it.
Bilal works alongside 9 other barbers, including his brother and 2 sons. As a New York native living in West Virginia, Bilal saw a need for the shop in the community, which inspired the space so many confide in today.
When I first started, there was a guy walked by, and we kind of made eye contact. He came and said, "Can I get a haircut?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, come on." And he asked, how did I start? You know, did we face any adversities and everything? And I was like, yeah, we just kind of talked about that. He asked, could he give me a hug? And I was like, yeah, sure. You want to wait to just see what your haircut looked like, or now? He like, now. And we hugged in the middle of the barbershop, and he started crying. I was like, man, you okay? And he was like, man, I just lost my job today, and I've been walking around downtown trying to figure out how I would tell my wife and my kids. And he was like, so your story of adversity, it gave me hope, you know? And next day he brought his wife and kids here, and we met and everything like that. And so, like, imagine if I didn't talk. Imagine if I wasn't part of the community.
But beyond a listening ear, Bilal also offers mentorship, as the barbershop offers an apprenticeship which many of his present-day staff have been a part of. Classic Cuts has also sponsored children from Charleston to come to Morgantown for WVU games. And all of this has earned Bilal the nickname of Mayor, and for good reason.
I get rewarded by watching them, you know, and knowing that I played a part in that, watching them grow up, watching them come to work, and, you know, just, you know, it means everything to me, you know. And I just hope even when I'm gone, that it would just live on. Classic Cuts would just live on and be passed on, you know?
So if you're in Morgantown and you need a haircut, just know Classic Cuts is there for you. He's a man who found tremendous success in the realm of sports, but many people may not know him. We'll introduce you to a Hall of Fame coach from here in North Central West Virginia, next on our 12 News Black History Special. You truly never know where life will take you. But North Central West Virginia has a history of successful football coaches, and Ace Mumford is one of them. Nolan Porterfield shares the story of this coach who left his mark on black college football.
Born in Buchanan in November of 1898, Arnett William Mumford served as the head football coach at historically black colleges and universities in Texas and Louisiana from 1924 to 1961. He compiled a career college football record of 233, 85, and 23. He's been inducted into at least 8 Hall of Fames for his coaching accomplishments. In 1924, Mumford graduated from Wilberforce University, where he served as a member of Kappa Alpha Psi social fraternity. He began coaching later that same year. After a brief stint at Jarvis Christian College, he then coached football, basketball, and baseball at Bishop College. Southern University officials were impressed by both his coaching and disciplinary actions. Once at Southern, he was also known for emphasizing the importance of education. On the field itself, he earned a reputation for perfection, making the team practice the same play late into the night to get it just right, even using a white-colored football to assist visibility during late-night use. He was also opposed to attempting field goals. At one point, Southern was documented to have made just 3 successful kicks in the decade prior to November of 1955. In those days, Mumford led Southern to an 8-1 record against Grambling State. Southern's biggest interstate rival of that era was Xavier, and it quickly grew too heated to remain at on-campus venues. Mumford supported efforts to move the game to a neutral field and convert it to a charitable fundraiser for the local chapter of the Lions Club in its fight against the causes of visual impairment. Multiple Glasses Bowls Classic games were held, starting in 1939. During one particular stretch between 1948 and 1951, his teams posted a 38-game unbeaten streak. In addition, he coached Southern to the 1941 Black National Championship in basketball by taking the National Intercollegiate Invitational Tournament at Cincinnati. He also served as athletic director while at Southern. Mumford's teams produced more than 40 All-Americans. In 1960, it was also estimated that more than half of Louisiana's high school coaches were former Jaguars. As a sign of the changing times, Southern had begun to advertise accommodations for white patrons on its new stadium grounds. When the stadium was completed in 1940, it included a 150-seat section for white patrons. One of the more noteworthy white fans was Ellis A. Brown, who coached Estrama High School in the most successful dynasty in Louisiana's highest classification of prep football. Likewise, white coaches such as Frank Broyles and Bear Bryant were known to have visited Mumford during his coaching career to discuss football strategy. In 1948, Southern defeated San Francisco State 30-0 and finished the year at 12-0. Mumford died of a heart attack at the age of 63 while directing a track meet. It's said that he died in his cleats. In Buchanan, Nolan Porterfield, 12 News.
Well, that's going to do it for this year's 12 News' Black History Special here on WBOY. We thank you for joining us and invite you to tune in again for more specials just like this one. And be sure to download WBOY Plus for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else.